The Ukraine-Russia conflict has been a proving ground for modern warfare. New technologies are constantly being tested, strategies and tactics are evolving rapidly. Amidst this dynamic battlefield, the arrival of the ATACMS missile system stands out as a pivotal moment. The Army Tactical Missile System, or ATACMS, is not merely another weapon. It represents a significant escalation in Ukraine's capabilities. The ATACMS is a tactical ballistic missile system. It is designed for precision strikes at ranges far exceeding Ukraine's previous capabilities. This range and accuracy make it a game-changer. Ukraine can now strike high-value targets deep within Russian-held territory. This shift in the balance of power has sent ripples of concern through the Kremlin. The introduction of ATACMS has forced a reassessment of military strategy on both sides. Russia must now contend with the vulnerability of its logistical hubs, command centers, and critical infrastructure. The Ukrainian armed forces, emboldened by this new capability, are presented with opportunities to disrupt Russian operations and potentially alter the course of the conflict. The world watches closely as ATACMS makes its mark on the battlefield. Its impact extends beyond the immediate tactical advantage. The missile system's presence in Ukraine signals a broader shift in the global security landscape. This shift underscores the growing importance of long-range precision firepower in modern warfare.
The ATACMS is a marvel of modern military engineering. It combines raw power with pinpoint accuracy. This combination makes it a formidable weapon system. The missile's technical specifications reveal the source of its effectiveness. With a range exceeding 300 kilometers, ATACMS outranges most Russian ground-based air defenses. This extended reach allows Ukraine to strike targets that were previously untouchable. The heart of the ATACMS lies in its guidance system. A sophisticated GPS-aided inertial navigation system ensures pinpoint accuracy. This guidance system renders the missile extremely difficult to intercept. It can strike targets with minimal collateral damage, a crucial factor in populated areas. This precision is further enhanced by the missile's supersonic speed, traveling at over Mach 3. This speed makes it incredibly difficult for enemy forces to react in time. The ATACMS offers a versatile payload capability. It can be armed with either cluster munitions or a unitary warhead. Cluster munitions are devastating against area targets such as troop concentrations or airfields. The unitary warhead, on the other hand, is ideal for destroying hardened targets like command bunkers or ammunition depots. This flexibility allows commanders to tailor the missile's destructive power to the specific mission requirements. The ATACMS can be launched from both the M270 Multiple Launch Rocket System, MLRS, and the M142 High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, HIMARS. This adaptability makes it a highly mobile and deployable weapon system. Ukrainian forces can rapidly deploy ATACMS to different locations, making it difficult for Russia to track and target the launch platforms.
The ATACMS is not a newcomer to the battlefield. It boasts a combat-tested pedigree, having been deployed in multiple conflicts since its introduction in 1991. These experiences have demonstrated the missile system's effectiveness in a variety of operational environments. The Gulf War provided the first glimpse of ATACMS's capabilities. During Operation Desert Storm, the United States used the missile system to great effect against Iraqi forces. ATACMS targeted Iraqi air defenses, command and control nodes, and logistical hubs, significantly degrading their ability to wage war. In the subsequent Iraq War, ATACMS continued to prove its worth. Its long range and precision made it an invaluable asset for coalition forces. The missile system was used to eliminate high-value targets, disrupt enemy movements, and provide close support to ground troops. These experiences highlighted the ATACMS's versatility and effectiveness in both offensive and defensive operations. The ATACMS's combat history is not without its controversies. The use of cluster munitions in particular has drawn criticism due to the potential for civilian casualties and unexploded ordnance. However, the missile system has undergone continuous upgrades and improvements over the years, aimed at minimizing collateral damage and enhancing its overall effectiveness. The lessons learned from past conflicts have been instrumental in shaping the ATACMS into the potent weapon system it is today. Its combat-proven track record makes it a valuable asset for Ukraine as it confronts Russian aggression. The missile system's history serves as a reminder of the devastating impact of long-range precision firepower on the modern battlefield.
Section 4. Recent deployment in Ukraine. ATACMS enters the battlefield. The decision to provide Ukraine with ATACMS missiles was a significant turning point in the conflict. This move, long sought by Kiev, signaled a willingness by Western allies to provide Ukraine with more advanced weaponry. The arrival of ATACMS on the Ukrainian battlefield was met with a mixture of hope and apprehension. For Ukraine, it represented a much-needed boost to their long-range strike capabilities. For Russia, it served as a stark reminder of the escalating costs of their invasion. The initial deployments of ATACMS were shrouded in secrecy. Ukrainian forces, eager to maximize the element of surprise, carefully selected their targets. Early strikes focused on high-value Russian military infrastructure, including ammunition depots, command centers, and logistical hubs. These attacks, deep behind enemy lines, sent shockwaves through the Russian military establishment. The impact of ATACMS was immediate and significant. Russian logistics, already strained by the prolonged conflict, were further disrupted. The destruction of ammunition depots hampered Russian artillery bombardments, a key element of their offensive operations. The targeting of command centers sowed confusion and disrupted communication networks, hindering Russia's ability to coordinate its forces effectively. The successful deployment of ATACMS provided a much-needed morale boost to the Ukrainian people and armed forces. It demonstrated the unwavering support of Western allies and underscored Russia's vulnerability to Ukrainian counteroffensives. The missile system's arrival marked a new phase in the conflict, one in which Ukraine possessed a more credible deterrent against Russian aggression.
Section 5. A longer reach. Impact of ATACMS on Ukrainian offensive capabilities. The arrival of ATACMS missiles in Ukraine has significantly altered the dynamics of the conflict. Its long range and precision have given Ukrainian forces a potent new tool to strike back against Russian aggression. This newfound capability has emboldened Ukrainian commanders, allowing them to plan and execute more ambitious operations. One of the most significant impacts of ATACMS has been on Ukraine's ability to target Russian logistics and supply lines. The missile's extended range allows Ukrainian forces to strike deep behind enemy lines, disrupting critical supplies. ATACMS has also proven effective against Russian command and control centers. By targeting these centers, Ukrainian forces can disrupt Russia's ability to wage war effectively. The introduction of ATACMS has shifted the momentum of the conflict in Ukraine's favor. It has provided Ukrainian forces with a credible deterrent against Russian aggression and emboldened them to take the fight to the enemy.
Section 6. The Kremlin's response, Russian countermeasures and adaptations. The deployment of ATACMS missiles in Ukraine has not gone unanswered by the Kremlin. Recognizing the threat posed by this new weapon system, Russia has been forced to adapt its tactics and deploy countermeasures in an attempt to mitigate its impact. These efforts highlight the challenges faced by both sides in this constantly evolving conflict. One of Russia's primary responses has been to disperse its logistical hubs and command centers. By spreading out these critical assets, Russia hopes to make them less vulnerable to ATACMS strikes. This dispersal, however, comes at a cost. It complicates logistical operations and makes it more difficult for Russian commanders to coordinate their forces effectively. Russia has also stepped up its electronic warfare efforts in an attempt to jam or spoof the GPS signals that guide ATACMS missiles. While the effectiveness of these efforts is difficult to gauge, they underscore the importance of electronic warfare in modern conflicts. The battle for control of the electromagnetic spectrum is likely to intensify as both sides seek to gain an advantage. Another key element of Russia's response has been to increase its air defense capabilities, particularly around critical infrastructure and military installations. The deployment of additional surface-to-air missile systems is aimed at creating a more robust defensive umbrella against ATACMS strikes. However, the effectiveness of these systems against a weapon as advanced as ATACMS remains to be seen. The Kremlin has also resorted to information warfare, downplaying the impact of ATACMS and portraying its deployment as a desperate measure by the West. This propaganda campaign seeks to undermine Ukrainian morale and sow discord among Western allies. The battle for hearts and minds is just as important as the fight on the ground.
Section 7. The logistical tightrope, challenges facing ATACMS deployment in Ukraine. While the ATACMS missile system has provided Ukraine with a significant military advantage, its deployment is not without challenges. Logistical constraints, training requirements, and maintaining operational security all present hurdles. One primary challenge is the limited supply of ATACMS missiles. The United States, the sole provider, has been cautious in its provision. This caution stems from concerns about escalating the conflict and the risk of these weapons falling into the wrong hands. Ukraine must prioritize its targets and use ATACMS sparingly for high-value targets. Another challenge is the training and maintenance of the ATACMS system. Operating and maintaining this complex system requires specialized knowledge and skills. Maintaining operational security is paramount to prevent capture or destruction. Despite these challenges, Ukraine is committed to integrating ATACMS into its military doctrine. the Ukrainian armed forces have shown remarkable adaptability and resilience, demonstrating their determination to defend their country.